Hi friends, I'm Erin and this is Erin Go Live. Today I have a tag video for you. I just searched Tag Tuesday and I literally picked the first one that came up. This is from Joan's Pointed Plate. I will put her video down below. And she I think is more of like a food lifestyle type of a person. Never heard of her before, but I may be interested in watching more of her videos. But anyway, this is called the Get to Know My Past tag. So these are just more about getting to know you type of questions. I don't think there's anything particularly bookish about any of these questions, but books may come up. We shall see. So getting into the questions. Did anyone, either related or not, live with you when you were a child? Yes. We had a few times where other people kind of just stayed with us for a while due to different circumstances. One, my great uncle's fiance was dying of I think she had brain cancer, and her daughter and 2 or 3 kids, I don't even remember, I think 2 kids came and stayed with us for a while her mom was dying. It's funny because I don't remember it very well, but I think my sister came and slept. I had a bunk bed, and so she slept in the bed with me. So she still had her own room, but that's where they slept. And so they were basically only really over there like overnight. They slept in my sister's room and my sister slept in my room. Then we also had this guy named Bud, and my mom went through this terrible like vertigo situation when I was probably like 7th, 8th grade, 6th, 7th grade, something like that. And at the time she was doing all this network marketing stuff, and she knew Bud through this network marketing thing that she was in. And he needed a place to stay. She needed somebody to help with us, basically driving us around. We went to school 8 miles away at a private school. And so Bud drove us to school every morning. He's just slept on the couch. The biggest thing I remember is he used Irish Spring soap. And so just every morning, just the whole house smelled like Irish Spring. And so whenever I smell Irish Spring, I think of Bud. Question number 2 is, do your family members live close to you? My parents live very close to me. They live just at the end of the hall. My parents moved in with me in the summer of 2020. So I can't believe it's been 3 years already. But it's going really well. Just kind of financially, after my husband died, their financial situation, my dad now has Parkinson's, it just all worked out really well. And then my sister and her husband live in the childhood home that we grew up from. So they bought the house from my parents. So it was a really nice transition, and they're about 10 to 12 minutes away or so. My aunt and uncle live just on the other side of the main road from me. Grandma and grandpa are 15, 20 minutes away. So yeah, do have family that lives elsewhere, but I do have a lot of close family members. Number 3 is, did your family have any special traditions? So the biggest thing for us, I would say that would be like different from anybody else, is that when I was, I think 5, Leatherby's, which is a local family creamery, opened up a second location, and it was right down the street from where I grew up. And back then it was quite inexpensive. You could get a sandwich, they had a pizza of the day or pizza of the week, I don't remember. It was like $1.99 for a personal pizza. Plus, of course, they had ice cream. And it was not uncommon for us to go to Leatherby's like 3 or 4 times a week. Sometimes we would go twice in the same day, like for lunch and for dinner. So it has always been, so we don't go there nearly as much anymore. It is far more expensive to buy things there. They've expanded their menu quite a bit, but every birthday we celebrate there. So since I was like, maybe my 6th birthday, we've been celebrating there. So, my 40th birthday is coming up. So it gives you an idea how long Leatherby's has been around and how long this has been a tradition. Also, whenever like the family that lives out of state, whenever they come into town, we definitely are going to have a meal at Leatherby's. So my aunt and cousin were just here a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And so we had a big family get together there. What was a family favorite meal growing up? So Leatherby's was home cooking in my house, as was Taco Bell and the local Chinese food place that was like in the grocery store. So it was kind of few and far between that we had like really like home cooked meals. But the one kind of like specialty that my mom would make, and she actually made this not that long ago for my dad, was this like chicken and egg noodles. And it's like, it's soupy, but as the leftovers go, the egg noodles absorb the broth, and so it becomes less brothy, but even more flavorful as the as the days go by. So I would say that mom's egg noodles and chicken would be that like special dish. Do you have special traditions associated with your favorite meals? So I would say I have a really odd personal tradition. I love pumpkin pie, and Thanksgiving Eve every year for the last, I don't know, it's probably been 10 years or something like that. I eat pumpkin pie for dinner on Thanksgiving Eve. So I just buy myself my own personal pumpkin pie, can of Reddi-wip. I don't even cut it and use a plate. I just squirt myself a nice little triangle of whipped cream on the pie, dig right in, and I basically just eat as much as I want. I've never made it through a whole pie in one sitting. I would probably make myself sick if I tried that. But then I'll kind of like have that for breakfast on Thanksgiving morning too. So that's just kind of like my own personal favorite meal tradition. Question number 6 is, where did you meet your spouse or partner? We met at school, at Casa Roble High School, the first day of summer leadership of him going into his freshman year. So summer leadership was kind of like a ROTC version of like basic training. So the incoming freshmen come and they earn like their first ribbons and first rank, and then it's more of a leadership opportunity for the older cadets. And it is the first story in my memoir, my upcoming memoir. So stay tuned for the more details on that story, because there is a story to it. Question number 7 is, what was your first house or apartment like when you moved out of your childhood home? What was your first house or apartment like when you moved out of your childhood home? So I moved out of my childhood home into my in-laws' house when I was 18. And, I mean, what was it like? It was a four bedroom, 1,600 square foot ranch style house. It's my sister's house now. It's on a cul-de-sac. So it was amazing because I got to grow up with a whole bunch of other kids. There's 16 houses on the street. And when I was growing up, there was like 30 kids. So it was just fantastic, kind of the, stereotypical like Gen X, older millennial childhood, getting to grow up, live close to a park, grew up on my bike, grew up playing basketball, two-hand touch, football, baseball, absolutely, swim in the neighbors, in neighbors' pools, stuff like that. And then when I was 18, I moved into my in-laws' house. My oldest brother-in-law was moved out, and so I moved into his bedroom. And we weren't allowed to share. Sam and I weren't allowed to share a room. Definitely didn't look good. And we always say like, well, it's not when we're sleeping that you need to worry about. But so definitely out of respect, we had our own rooms. Question number 8 is, did your family take trips or go on vacation to a certain destination? Not really. We weren't big trippy people. We went to Disneyland a few times, being in Northern California. We used to head down south. We did that for Christmas one year. That was really fun. I just turned 15 the year we did that for Christmas. So that was a lot of fun. The only thing that we did that was kind of like on a regular basis was we had family, like friends who were family that lived about an hour and a half south of us in Turlock, which, like, if you've ever heard of Turlock, hey, cool. We would go down there and, go to the Stanislaus County Fair and just hang out with them. That was really the only thing we did. We were not big trip people. We took one major trip when I was a kid. We did a big road trip up to Southern Oregon and Northern California. Like, I live in Northern California, but Northern California and the coast. Did some camping and stuff like that, but we weren't big trip people. I think that's probably why I love traveling so much now, because I didn't really get to do a lot when I was a kid. I just realized the question about the childhood home. I don't think the question is about... I was thinking about what was my childhood home like when I moved out. No, it was like, what was my first apartment like when I moved out? When I first moved out, like I said, it was with my in-laws. And then when my first official apartment on my own was actually during Sam's MOS school. And MOS is military occupational, whatever the S stands for. And that was in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I was only there for 5 weeks. He was supposed to be there for like 9 weeks. And so I wasn't supposed to, but I actually temporarily moved out there. Ended up only being there for 5 weeks. And I got a furnished studio apartment for $256 a month, which was less than our car payment at the time. I think our car payment was like $280 something. And this furnished studio apartment was $256 a month. And I was like, wow, this is how the rest of the country lives, huh? Crazy. Anyway, on with the rest of the questions. Number 9, are you still friends with your childhood friends? I would say like Facebook friends, more like acquaintances at this point. Probably the closest would be my friend Paul from high school. We were friends from freshman year of high school. So we were both like young for our year. So we were 13. We turned 14 our freshman year. He's 3 weeks older than me. I just hung out with him on Memorial Day weekend. So he's probably the only one that I'm like, I would still like legitimately call like my friend from the people who I grew up with. The other person is kind of like a friend who's family kind of thing. So our families have been really tight since we were like 5 or something like that. And our families are super, super tight. Actually, today is her daughter's 15th birthday, which I can't believe. I can't believe that we have a 15-year-old. But always remember her birthday is easy because it's on 7-Eleven. And then her kids go to the same school as my sister's kids. And so I mostly see them at like school related things. But we will do like family kind of events together. And then number 10, do any events stand out to you that you experienced as a child? That's like your entire childhood. Do any events stand out? I got a concussion when I was 5. That's the first thing I can think of. Baby's first concussion. I've had 3. Once you've had a concussion, you're much more likely to have another concussion. And each time you have a concussion, it increases your likelihood of having another concussion. So I'm actually a really good record. I haven't had a concussion since I was 19. But when I was 5, we were playing on that cul-de-sac that I grew up with. We were a bunch of kids are outside playing. We were playing follow the leader on our bikes. And I was the last in line. And we were going up the curb onto the sidewalk right in front of my house. And I think because I was the last one in line, I was having to go kind of too slow, so that when I got to the curb, I wasn't going fast enough, and I flipped over the handlebars and I face planted into the curb and broke my nose. So had 2 black eyes, swollen nose, had a goose egg on my forehead. My parents got reamed by the doctor that I wasn't wearing a helmet. This was 1989, which was many years before the California helmet law was passed. And basically the rule after that was if I was going to be on my bike, I had to have my helmet on. And if I got caught without my helmet, bike was going up into the rafters. And my parents didn't play. I never tested that theory because I knew that they would follow through. So that is the get to know my past tag. So, please, you are welcome to do this tag. I'd love to know more about you from like non-bookish life, a little bit more about you growing up. But I will tag a few people. I will tag a few people. Melinda from Web of Stories, Krista from Books and Jams, Doris from Aldi Books, Heidi from My Reading Life, and MJ from Reading This Life. Thank you for watching. Remember, every day is a great day for a great day, all day.